Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and you know I've still been looking for a deck to build in Standard. Well, I think we came up with something. Quite literally nothing can compete with a 32, counter spell board wipe and then approach of the Second Sun deck. There's nothing you can do, but hopefully they do something about that. I doubt they'll ban anything, but I mean, honestly, if people keep showing up to your FNM with that, just tell them they're a dick and tell them nobody wants them there, they're ruining everybody else's fun. And honestly, if it gets that bad, talk to the store owner, because they will kick them out. Trust me, I've heard stories. So, assuming we don't have to deal with that, it looks like, zombies, okay. Some people are playing Servo Dump because that's still cool. Some people are playing Energy, and I've played, I don't know, probably 30 to 40 games of X-Mage against humans with this, and it won slightly more than 50% of the time, so it's good. I mean, it's a good deck. It's competitive with what people are kind of coming up with and what's popular in the meta, and I'm just thrilled to death that it beats Energy a good percentage of the time. So, once you see the synergy in this deck, it is no joke. I mean, this deck, the power level is up there. It's just the things that have to compete with are up there too. That didn't sound like it was phrased correctly, but what do you call it? The mana base. I love doing these recordings in one shot. It's a complete disaster. I mean, it's a dumpster fire. I mean, look at it, but it works. There's some math behind it, but you could probably swap out a couple cards and you're not that far off. So we've got one Crypt of the Eternals, because why not? It gains 1 life, taps for colorless, and then you can filter out 1 of 3 colors. If you really don't like that, take it out, put in another Unknown Shores. Then 1 Swamp, 1 Forest, and then 4 Evolving Wilds, which those obviously go together. And then Painted Bluffs and 1 Unknown Shores. They are literally the same card. I mean, not just, oh, they're the same card, it's a functional reprint. No, it's the same card. I just put them in there for, I don't know, targeting by name. I don't think that's a thing with lands. I don't know. Whatever. Why not? If anything, it confuses your opponent, makes them think that you put more than 4 Painted Bluffs in, so you had to put a couple Unknown Shores. I don't know what that really does for you, but whatever. Then we got 2 Shefets because they're awesome. I need to control Revolt, and that effect is amazing because this is a token dump deck. And you can tap for white at will, and you gain a lot of life with this deck. So, as long as there's 2 of them, it just works. It's nice. You might even want to go to 3. Then we got Concealed Courtyard, because duh. Late game, it's annoying as hell to pull these. So, if you cut these and put in something else, you probably wouldn't really lose much. Then, like I said, Unknown Shores. Then we got 2 Sunpetals. Now, these are amazing. These types of lands, the single check lands, as long as it's not the first one you drop, you're good. I mean, this is like modern grade. I run Glacial in my modern deck. Then we got Survivor's Encampment. That one you can tap for colorless, and it comes in untapped, that's nice. And then you can tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color, not just the creature's color. If you were to increase the number of these, it would probably work. Because like I said, this is a token dump deck, you have no shortage of creatures. But if you need mana, you don't really want to tap something because it could affect the way that you could, quad block somebody with a bunch of 1/1s. But you'll probably be dumping out more tokens with the spells. So, it's alright. Then we got just straight up 6 planes. Believe it or not, this does work. You very, very, very rarely have mana problems. And you can see the number of black is, well, 4, and the number of green is, well, I guess 5, and then 3 green. I kept changing the deck. I don't freaking know. So that's why it's not guaranteed. Some of it is revolt triggers, but mostly it's just primarily white. I mean, we got white, 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 everything's white. So let's start with Legion's Landing. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that one. All right, so when it enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 Vampire Lifelink token. That's cool. For 1, I mean, that's, whatever. It's basically a trained Caracal. But then also when you attack with 3 or more creatures, you flip it. And you have to. It's mandatory. That's a shame. And it's legendary at both sides, so watch that. It taps for white. It becomes a land. That's kind of like a cool little neat ramp thing, kind of. Otherwise, you can pay 3, tap it, and create a vampire creature token with lifelink. Immediately on the turn, it flips. That's pretty nice. A continuous lifelink token generator is damn nice. So it's just a good card. I cut it to 3 because I was sick of having 2 of them on the field at a time. Then we got the Cartouche of Solidarity. It's pretty much the same thing. You create a 1/1 white warrior with vigilance, and then whatever you put this on also gets a 1/1, and first strike sort of permanently unless they blow it up. So yeah, this is good. I mean, this is even better than Legions, I would say. It doesn't grant lifelink, but it's damn good. Then we got Servo Exhibition. That's just 2 servos for 2 mana. I mean, ooh, it's sorcery, whatever. It's just a good spell. It's an insanely good spell. Then we got Hidden Stockpile. This is the key to a combo in the deck that I'll probably have to show you some gameplay to make sense. Revolt at the beginning of your end step. You know, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, create a 1/1 servo, and then you could force it to happen by paying 1 of any color, including colorless, and sacrifice a creature, and then scry 1. So you'll sacrifice a servo, create another servo at the end step, and also get to scry 1. And it will trigger all the other Revolt cards in the deck. You can also do this in response to targeting, set their spell fails. It's huge, it's important, and non-legendary. If you get multiples, you can sack one creature, and then get 2. Oh yeah. Then we got Queen's Commission. This is only 2 1/1 tokens for 3, but they have lifelink, so certainly an improvement over Servo Exhibition, or at least tied. I mean, 3 mana is a lot higher. But then we got Aerial Responder. He's in here for a very particular reason. 1, because he's awesome, and 2, Majestic Myriarch. But anyway, Flying Vigilance lifelink. 2/3, hell yeah. Keeps you alive. Then we got the mother of all equalizers, and since this is like the only spell worth countering in the deck, it's gonna get countered. But I mean, I played this against like Red Haste, and it just wrecked him. Just one version of the spell, 1 instance, and the game was over. I'm surprised he didn't forfeit. He lost badly after this. He lost a Hazaret. He lost, I don't know, like something else really important, and I don't know, something else really important. So, oh my god. Exile all attacking creatures, and basically they can replace them with basic lands from the library per. Who cares? Then we got 3 of this because it's expensive. Sram's Expertise. This is just amazing, though. 1, because he's basically Hellboy in that picture. And 2, you create 3 servos for 4 mana, and then you can cast a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less without paying its cost, which is anything down here, including, you know, auras and enchantments, creatures, everything. Just straight up cast a spell. So, good value. I mean, it's kind of, you don't get as much out of it if you don't have it in your hand, but honestly, 3 for 4 ain't bad. Then we got the big bombs, okay? Call for Unity. This card is so underappreciated and underrated, it makes me want to throw up. Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, put a Unity counter on Call for Unity. Creatures you control for the rest of the game, token or otherwise, get +1/+1 for each Unity counter on Call of Unity. Now this card is absolutely insane because, I mean, with Hidden Stockpile, you could just sack something and then boom, everything else gets 1 bigger. I mean, soon you'll have an army of 5/5s basically. I've had people destroy this, and it's like, whatever, then I'll just run you over the traditional way. I mean, you know, there goes your spell. Then, of course, we got Crested Sunmare. There's lifelink, I was going to say life gain everywhere, but honestly, no, it is just lifelink. There's lifelink all over this deck. You can almost guarantee that you'll get something like this happening, and that's one of the reasons Crypt is in here. It's kind of a nice late drop there. But yeah, other horses have Indestructible. At the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, by the way, I misread that. At the beginning of each end step, each player's end step, if you gained life this turn, create a 5/5 white horse creature token, basically with Indestructible, you will win dang quick, especially when they start getting bigger. Then we've got Majestic Myriarch. This is fun. Its power and toughness are equal to twice the number of creatures you control, counting itself, so it's bare minimum a 2/2. At the beginning of each combat, if you control a creature with flying, it gains flying. The same is true for first strike, double strike, death touch, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, and vigilance. So usually it would have flying, lifelink, and vigilance. Sometimes it just has vigilance, sometimes it just has flying and lifelink, sometimes it just has lifelink. Either way, it's usually like a 12/12. I mean, this comes out, they better deal with it or they're dead. Also, Crested, hello, indestructible on horses. Majestic, indestructible, that's fun. Usually it takes 1 swing and they're dead. They're dead on the next turn after you cast this. Then we got Vona, Butcher of Magan. I put 1 in. Honestly, it should be a 4th Majestic. They're not even, what do you call it, legendary. But I just wanted Vona in the deck. She was supposed to be in the deck in the first place, and I forgot to put her in. I mean, what else would you take out? So, Vigilance, lifelink, so for sure she's getting 4 life every turn. And then you can tap her in the middle of combat after they declare blockers, pay 7 life, not a big deal, and destroy target non-land permanent. Just anything. An enchantment, freaking Revel in Riches, whatever you want, is gone. So yeah, this thing is insane, especially if you start putting like cartouches on it or Call for Unity. I mean, it's just good. This is, I mean, it's no surprise. This is a darn good card. I think it's like $4 or $5 or something, maybe $3.50. Yeah, I'd pick it up. I have a feeling that it's going to get a little bit more expensive when the new set comes out, so pick them up even if you're not going to build this deck. So it's pretty easy to see what this does. I mean, it just, you know, pounds out the tokens and then makes them all bigger and stalls out the board state. And it doesn't even need removal, but if you find that you do need removal, I don't have it pictured here, but 100% of the sideboard is removal. Just straight up removal. Now, obviously, it's not Fumigate because you would take more damage than they would, but, well, to your board state. I would say, you know, it's a lot of pin down. It's a lot of this creature can't attack or block, and, like, you gain 2 life or whatever, something like that. A lot of 2 cost, a lot of 3 cost, you know, it's just the typical stuff. There's some, like, exile until this leaves the battlefield kind of stuff. So if they're bringing out something you just can't deal with, like the Scarab God or something, or Locust God, boom! You know, you could even have, what is that, Castaway, throw that in there. That basically is the sideboard. And you'd almost have to take out, like, I guess, Settle? Because you'd want to individually take out their creatures, unless Settle is still good. Then I would maybe pull Srams, because you got the low-end generators, it's not a big deal. I mean, you could almost live without Hidden Stockpile, but it's a little rough, and you wouldn't want to gut the low end of the deck. So sideboarding would be a nightmare. You could almost just do like 1 Call for Unity, 1 Crested, 1 Majestic, like 1 Sram, and there's your control, and then leave Settle, you know, if their creatures are out of control. I don't know. Just sideboarding would be really, really rough in this deck because there's no room. Your deck will slow down, it will do worse, so you better be really sure that you really need that. Otherwise, settle the Wreckage if they're playing just a small amount of creatures and they're very important and they never swing. Okay, then drop Settle and put in point removal. Real simple. So I would strongly encourage you to watch the, what do you call it, the gameplay footage I'm going to upload of this. I guess I'll just verse the AI because honestly, a human game just runs slower and it looks exactly the same. It's not about that this deck can win or how the matchups look against a certain deck. It's just how this deck works, what order to cast stuff in, and how the cards interact. So the best way to do that is against the AI, obviously. So I will see you guys next video.